Hello friends, welcome to a late night yap session, if you will. I want to talk to you guys about a concept that I find very interesting, which is morality as an aesthetic and my take on it, or like my thoughts on it basically. Now, before I begin this video, I want to preface this by saying that this is a concept that you will often see, especially in literature, associated with unreliable narrators. This is also a concept that is associated quite a lot with Greek mythology, art, and the classics. So while this is not a theme that you would usually see in real life, this is something that you will definitely notice if you consume media, and not just any media, but media that is often associated with the classics. So to begin with, I think I should probably explain what morality as an aesthetic is. I think if you and I as a person, we have a sense of quiet judgment every single day. You know, like we don't really have a reason why. More or less, sometimes it's just we feel, right? Like I would feel like, oh, she's not a good person. Not because of anything that she did or anything that person didn't do. It's just on vibes entirely. And that in and of itself is not dictated by a moral code. More or less, it's dictated by perception. A good example that I can give you of this, and this is something that I saw floating around on Tumblr and Pinterest for quite a while now, but if I kill a butterfly, I would be deemed a monster because butterfly is beautiful. Why would you kill such beautiful life? But if I killed a cockroach, it's good because it's a cockroach. Ew, it's disgusting. It's in the way, right? That is perception. Morality is being perceived in this case. Even though you are technically taking the life of two creatures, it is perceived differently. In this sense, I also want to bring up virtue signaling, and I also do want to talk a little bit about fashion, because I think this is also another way that morality as an aesthetic kind of pops up in real life. We did talk about the butterfly and the cockroach again, but I want to shift focus onto reality in the sense before we talk about the conclusion. Promoting conscious consumption, sustainability, and smaller brands can come from a genuine place of understanding and a genuine place of like, hey, like this is bad. Like, you know, we should do this and we should do this because then this could happen. However, and this is what I need you to remember about social media, because what you see on social media could be completely untrue. People promoting sustainable clothing, small brands, conscious consumption, all of that could not necessarily mean it's because they stand for those things. It could mean that they are just promoting these things because to be good is to be aesthetically pleasing to the public, in the sense that belonging to a morally enlightened class is much more appealing than having a controversial opinion and not having the favoration of the public. Now obviously this is a little bit more complex than just what I'm saying, because society is multifaceted. There are so many ways that we can look at this, especially the fashion example. Even the butterfly cockroach example that I gave at the beginning of this video, there's just so many ways that we can look at this. But you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Is that there is a way that we perceive morality as humans. There are certain things that we deem good, not because they feel right, but because they look right. And I think especially now in this day and age, and I want to phrase this properly, it's not that these things are insincere. It's not that promoting, you know, good fashion choices is insincere. You know, it's not that people aren't believing in what they say. It's that some people can just say these things because it makes them look good and it knows it'll get them a platform. What I mean to say is moral aesthetics are not inherently insincere. Again, this isn't necessarily a theme that you would see reoccurring in the real world per se. This is something that's kind of existed for years, centuries even, throughout philosophy, literature, art, music. Like for instance, the Greek philosopher Plato did, if I'm not mistaken, argue that good was beautiful. And I keep saying real world and literature, like, you know, they're two different things, but they're not. Artistic movements in the real world have often relied on morality as an aesthetic or use aesthetics to push morality to seem more appealing to the public so that their message can be pushed out. So basically, I think what I'm trying to say is, and I really haven't figured out a proper argument for this, I'm still thinking about it. I was talking about this with one of my good friends the other day, which is why I wanted to make this video. But I'm still finding a really good argument for this, and I'm still building this up in my head, but I just wanted to kind of make a video about it because I want to get everyone else's ideas and input on this, because it interests me so much. But I think the argument that I'm trying to really build up here is that when morality becomes an aesthetic without reflection or inherent understanding, it can kind of turn into, I guess, a narcissistic spectacle. And again, it's not that your ethics or your intentions or your morals are insincere. It's just that sometimes, you know, your sincerity can seem very one-dimensional, especially on social media, especially on this, right? Especially on whatever you're watching me on. So I think when you work towards understanding, expanding, and enhancing your sincerity instead of allowing your morality to replace that sincerity, I think that's when you do gain dimension. And I think that's when we go from, okay, does this look good, to, okay, this feels right, this is the right thing. So yeah, I'm very interested to know what you guys think and whether you have any thoughts. We are humans, and humans are creatures who have always found meaning in so many things. And the fact that we are finding meaning in morality and aesthetic, two things that you would think would never collide, is very interesting to me. And again, I'm pretty sure this is a very weak argument or a very weak understanding, but that's okay. This video is just what I understand of it so far. Please don't take what I say as right. If you know more about this, absolutely let me know in the comments. And if you know anywhere for me to find out more about this, let me know, because I'm so curious, and I really, this is just something that really excites me and interests me. So yeah, thank you guys. I hope this was a very long yap session. I think this was the longest one I've done in a while. So yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. It's kind of late at night now, but yeah, I will see you guys in another one. Bye.